Hey YouTubers, alright, so here we are, now we're out in the garage, and basically just kind of walking up on my old timer. It's kind of cold turkey. It's an older Orbit sprinkler timer. It still works, technically nothing wrong with it, but we're going to swap it out and hook up my new B-hyve timer. So, a couple things that I've guesstimated that I might need are maybe some wire strippers, pliers on the end, wire strippers, wire cutters. So we're gonna have to get in here and swap out wires. And I know that it usually take a little tiny screwdriver, so I got a little screwdriver, my little driver, so I can loosen or tighten the wires as needed into the new sprinkler timer. And hopefully that's it. So I wanted to go over a little bit some of my preparation too. This is how I kept track of my sprinklers in the past. Basically just went out in the yard, kind of drew my yard where all the sprinkler heads were and numbered them, so I would know which zone number on the timer coincided with the areas in my yard. And so that's the the back side of my yard. So hopefully we'll be replacing this with named zones and pictures on the zone, so it's a little bit more clear. So what's water and when. So something that is recommended what you do before you unhook everything is to take a look at your existing system. I'm going to use some tape and marker, and I'm going to mark each wire as to what zone it was plugged into previously. I really don't care, because I can now name my zones. I can take a picture of my zone. I really don't care what number it is anymore, but just to show, this is another optional step. Alright, so we'll take off this electrical panel. Cover. And now we can see all the wires. How they're done up. So what I can do, I can start by, I also have it written down, but I can use a tape. But I can also take a picture. That way I've got a visual reference of where everything was before I start. So this one is going to be common. One. Again, this is just optional. You don't have to do this, just if you want to. Figure out how to release these. Yellow. 2. And you notice I still have it plugged in. Probably should unhook it. There's my wires. Let's see, looks like there's a couple that are tucked under, not stripped, not used. Possible for some zone expansion maybe. Wires are marked, so we know where they should go back in to the new timer. Now I have to take this thing off the wall. There. Don't need to. Just lift and pull. I'm guessing that's the fuse. Never really looked into this thing, but cool. Set that aside. Now you can see this also has a screw for place for the screw to hold it up. Looks like you can punch this out, or you can put another one in there. Obviously not going to line up, but there. Should hold. Alright, so far so good. Just plug it in. See if we still have good Wi-Fi connection out here. Should see at least two, one and one above it. Since I set it up in the living room, alright, we'll see if the app's able to connect to it. Had an earlier rain delay. Looks like it's cleared out. The timer. Turn it off, goes to off. The auto goes to auto. Cool. Looks like it's connecting. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll hook up the wires. Unplug it. Notice mine goes off. I haven't pulled the battery tab yet. I have to pull that to let the battery engage. Alright, so this one's a little different. You have to use a driver. All right. So now I got to get this in there. And there's a punch out right here for that. I think I'm going to take it off the wall. Do that. So there's a punch out right there. Let's see how well it punches out. Try a bigger screwdriver. A little bit of pressure on it. It did come. Cool. Got it. All right. So, remember how I said I didn't really care about the numbers? Here's why. Because they might not be in the order. But these are in there. I'm not sure I'm too worried about that. Unless you want to know by memory 1 through 5 are all out front, 6 through 9 are in the back, whatever. It's fine, but your timer makes it so you don't have to remember that anymore. So right now, got my common 7, 1, 5, 3, 2. That's 3. Maybe that's my 4, 8, 9, and 6. Well, that's kind of the order they're in the wire itself. So I think I'm just going to try and keep it simple. And put them in the order they want to go in. I already do this a little different. I might trim these up so that they actually fit across. But I'm not super worried about it. Come. I was not going into anything right now. So let's grab one next. Only one. To be named later. Give it a good tug, make sure it's in there solid. And last one. Alright, they're there. All hooked up, nothing's touching. Should be. Going in there, lined up, not crisscrossing all over, trying to get 1 and 1 and 4 and 4. I don't care. So now, plug her in. So I could start doing stuff from the timer here. I've got all the controls. I got manual and auto, obviously, my start times, run times, how often, everything right here at the timer, but I'm not going to do that. What I will do though is I'm going to do a factory reset so that you can see what full setup would look like out of the box. Show you real quick. To get into pairing mode, if you have to reset your timer, for example, if you change your SSID on your router, change a password, put it into off, and there's this button right here. It's a reset button. You just press that once. That puts it back into pairing mode, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to do a factory reset. So I'm just going to push and hold that button until the whole screen flickers. It takes almost a minute holding or so, 30 seconds, 10 seconds. The whole thing flickers, comes back, let go, and you'll notice that the Wi-Fi symbol is emitting upward. That means that it's in pairing mode, even though it doesn't say it's in pairing mode. Out of the box, brand new, first time you plug it in, its default is to go into pairing mode. So it is now ready for you to connect your app to the phone. And if you don't already have an account, you can set it up once you download and install the app. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to deauthorize this timer. What that does is it basically deletes all of the programs and settings that I had saved previously on my account for this timer. Then it takes me back into pairing mode here. So it says check the Wi-Fi signal strength. In the location your timer will be installed using a Wi-Fi enabled device. So on my phone I can see that I have pretty good signal strength here on my phone. Different antennas, your signal strengths can vary. As long as your timer can get to your router, you should be okay. So I'm going to actually close out of the app. Alright, so now we've got the timer reset, and I'm going to, if you were to create a new account, it would ask you for your first name, last name, email, password, confirm that. I already have an account, so we'll log in with my existing account, but the timer has been set back to factory defaults. No settings, the app's been cleared, everything's gone, no settings. I'm going to log in with an existing account. Okay, now that we're logged in, it says to check your Wi-Fi signal. On my phone, I can see that I have good Wi-Fi here. The timer should be able to pick up on that. If not, it can be a challenge. You might have to try and move your timer closer if that's at all possible, or bring an Wi-Fi range extender closer to your timer. That would be the easiest probably to do. So we're going to say OK. Some phones, like mine, the LG G3 on AT&T, has a setting that if you connect to a Wi-Fi device and there is no internet connection, it will default back to the cellular connection, so you'll need to change that. You click that button, there's a little bit more explanation about it. You can open the settings and we'll show you mine is switched to mobile data. If that's checked, then it will try to maintain internet connectivity for you. So we're in pairing mode, that's the default. Out of the box, your timer, first time you plug it in, and until you do the first pair, will have the pairing mode enabled by default. So go ahead and say start pairing. So now I'm going to connect to my phone to the timer. The app found the timer, so you connect to the timer. It's going to connect. You may get a notification that there is no internet. That's true. It's okay. Now the timer is scanning for SSIDs or Wi-Fi hotspots to connect to. And as soon as it gets a list of 10, it will come back and give me a list to choose from. And I know mine, and I'm going to enter the password. I should mention also that if your SSID is not broadcast, you can use the advanced button, and you can input the SSID and the security type. I'll come back. It's going to have to rescan again and give me that list again. Take just a few seconds. Okay, pick my network, remember my password, say yes. This is now blinking solid. It's going to blink a few times. Once it connects, it's going to stop blinking and have a solid signal there. I've got 2 bars, looks like. The app is disconnecting from the timer, reconnecting to the internet. It could take a second. If you get stuck on that screen of spinning, it could be that your phone and the app are still trying to stay connected to the timer. If you go back into your Wi-Fi settings real quick, you can sometimes get in here to Wi-Fi and switch back to your network before it times out, and it will bring you to this next screen. Now, by inputting your postal code, we can use things like automatic weather information and things like that. So we'll go ahead and put in postal code and say next. Name your timer. My home, and then we'll go into the next screen, which is setting up all the zones. So go ahead and do that. Say next or continue, and we're going to say we have 9 zones. There we go. So now we'll test the zones that were selected to ensure that they are working. So here's where it can be a little bit interesting, and if you did what I did and you didn't match up your zone numbers, they could be all around your yard. But I have an idea where things are going to be because I did number them. So zone 1 on here is going to be 9. So I come back to my handy chart, and I know that 9 is my backyard. So we'll go out in the backyard. Say okay. Come out in the backyard. There's one. And there's more coming on. So I can hit stop. So yep, that worked. Cool. So now I can go give this a name. Remember how I said I didn't care about what number it was? I set this up a little bit again. So now I can say this is back lawn middle. So now this is the middle section of my back lawn. And hit next. So I can hit test again on zone 2. See if that's in the backyard. And sprinklers are coming on over there. So it is. So we'll stop that. Cool. So now we got that one. So this one is third, actually back lawn, east. And so on. So let's go to the next one. Oops. Test it. See if it's in the back here. Oh, yep, I hear it. coming on down on the west side down below here. So that one is back lawn west. Try zone 4. So I can name this front flowers, and I can take a picture. Take a picture. Say okay. Now I have a picture of that zone. Let's see what gets what next. Oh, right behind us. Ooh, stop. Alright. So this one, take a picture. Okay. That's going to be front, lawn, middle. Makes sense to me. And we'll test 6. Stop. Sorry for the crazy tripod action. So that one is back on hill. It's on the hill. And I'll take a picture of it. Right there. Alright, 7. So let's see what comes on. I'm guessing it's going to be out front. Oh, there it is. Stop. So that is front on west. And we'll take a picture of that. It's okay. Yep. 8. Inactive. Try 9. I'm guessing it's this one over here on the other side of the truck and car, because that one hasn't gone yet. Yep. And there they go. Oh, I say stop. And I'll do. Let's try this. See how that looks. There we go. Front lawn east. Cool. Done. All right, so now all the zones have been set up and tested. You saw them all work, except for one that we knew wouldn't work. And so now we have an option to set up smart watering. And smart watering is really cool. I'm going to skip it for now, just for time's sake. but basically it gives you the ability to not have to worry about your lawn, the programs that it's on. It is based off of weather and evaporation and precipitation and the plant type, soil type. It's really cool. Check it out. I'll have more on that in my other videos, but for now we'll just say we're going to go custom. So now it brings us into creating a custom program. So a custom program is basically a program that you're used to setting up on a sprinkler timer, like program A, B, and C, with the different zones in it. So it's, we just say okay, and the screen right now is telling us that these zones are never scheduled to water right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which is true. We haven't set anything up yet. So we just tap on a zone. We'll call this front lawn. Done. So now we set a start time for that like we're used to. Let's say 5:30 a.m. You have to pick a.m. there. There, finally got it. So okay. This is a good idea you can do multiple start times if your ground is really steep. This has got a little bit of an angle to it, not much, but it's actually a good idea to do a second start time and say maybe depends on how many zones are going to run and for how long, but we could say 8 a.m. or actually p.m. Let's go p.m. 8 p.m. So okay. So what that's going to do is it's going to run this program twice on the days that it's set to run. So what I do is I add my zones. So now remember how I said I didn't care about the numbers. It does show numbers, but it also shows the name. So I know I've got front lawn middle, and I want that to run right now for 18 minutes. And I've got front lawn west. We'll go 18 on that. Remember, this is going to run twice in one day, so that's good. And then front lawn east, we'll go 18 minutes on that also. So okay. So at 5:30 a.m. and at 8 p.m. it's going to run front lawn, each one of these for 18 minutes. Now I can pick the days that I want it to water on. I'm just going to actually say interval. I just want it to water every 4 days right now. And I'll just see how that looks. And I hit save. And now I have front lawn. And we see also that 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 8 are now the only ones that aren't going to run. Let's go back, take a look at the timer. Let's see. All right, so now you see that we have program A, and that is set to run, and that is true. We have front lawn for program A right there. So let's do another one in program B. We're going to create one, and we'll name this one back lawn. Done. Let's see. So we want this one to start at 6:30 a.m. Okay. And we're going to also run it at night. So we're going to say 9 p.m. I'm going to pick my zones. And because they're named, I know what they are. So I've got back lawn middle. Do that one. Also 18, back lawn east. And do this one just a little bit longer. Back lawn west. A little bit shorter on that one. It's somewhat shaded. And back lawn hill. That one's gonna go about 18 also for now. So there's all my zones, their run times, and I want these to run on an interval also for every 4 days. So obviously you can pick the days of the week or even days or odd days. So if you've got water restrictions that you can only water on even days or odd days based on your house number or something like that, you can set that. Pretty handy. Or if you're only allowed to water on Tuesday and Friday of the week every week, or whatever you want to set, you can say Tuesday and Friday, or whichever ones you want. I'm just going to go with every 4 days. And so this is something I didn't know much about before, but it's budget. And what it does is it adjusts the run duration, the run times, not the start time, but the run duration of each zone. So right now it's 100%, so 18 minutes is 100%. If I want, I can lower that to 50%, and guess what I get? I get that to run for 9 minutes instead of 18. Pretty cool. So if you want to increase or decrease your watering times, you can set a budget. The timer also has a budget you can set on it, but it's right there. So now we just hit save, and now we have program B on the timer. It's ready to go, locked and loaded. It's pretty cool. I have zones 4 and 8. 8 doesn't do anything, it's inactive, but I do have a zone with flowers. So I'm going to say create one for flowers. Add my zone. Front flowers right there. I want that to run a little bit longer. It's on drip, so it takes a lot longer to water. Might actually even go an hour and a half. And that's good. And then I need to give it a start time, and we'll do this one at 4:30 a.m. Say okay. We'll just stick with that for now, but I want it to run on an interval of every 2 days. For now, save. I have program C. So now I have ABC. All right there. Pretty cool. So now back on the home screen, you can come into your calendar. It shows you all your upcoming watering events. You can look at the week. You can look at the day. So it will tell you when it's going to water. Pretty cool. And here's your zones. So there's the zones that we set up. You can see the pictures. Again, that's why I was not concerned about where the wires went. I don't really care. I can see pictures. Yes, the numbers are there, but I don't care. I can come into the zone. I can see when it last watered, when it's going to water next, how the soil moisture is on that. Here's smart watering. So if I want to enable smart watering, here's all the stuff that it asks you: soil type, plant type, sunshade, slope, head type, head count, and if you have catch cup. So you can input catch cup data, which is very accurate. It's very cool. I can change the picture if I want. I can change the name. It shows me the programs that it's in, the times and the durations, all right there. Really very cool. And oh, something else. If you want to, you can come in here and you can hit test, and you can test that zone. Or you can come to the manual mode. This button here is the remote control, basically. So you can come in here. Quick way to run all your zones, just to hit them all once, just hit run. Hit 1 minute or however long you want, and you hit play. It creates a manual program for you, and it's going to go around and water every single zone for 3 minutes. I'm going to stop it. Or you can come in and you can pick individual zones and say how long you want them to run. I'll do that. Add it to the list. If I hit play, play is play, it's going to start. Check, adds it to the list, and then when I'm ready, I hit play. It creates that program. It's going to run it. That's really cool, because manual mode on the timer is one at a time. You have to come back each time and tell it which one to run for how long. You can create a custom program right here. Other thing that's really cool is programs. If you hit programs, you can run them all. You can run the front lawn, back lawn, or flowers, all from right there. So you just hit that program, creates it, starts it, it's going to run. Really cool. Okay. Basic settings. So you can update your Wi-Fi settings, see some notifications, These are all the events that we just created by setting up all those zones and starting programs. Shows you watering history by zone. You can come in and see when it last watered, for how long, and you can see your device. So it shows the MAC address of the device, how we identify it. You can see here it's got my name, postal code, country. I can turn the timer off, so if I don't want any programs to run, I can turn it back on. I can turn smart watering on, which is kind of nice because that will set automatic rain delays for you, even if you don't have any smart watering enabled on any zones. That's a cool feature. If there's 30% or greater chance of rain for your zip code for the nearest weather station, it will set an automatic rain delay for you. If you have watering restrictions, this only applies to smart watering, 100%. So if you turn it on, you can pick which days, what times it can water, but this only applies to smart watering. It does not apply to custom programs. So that's that. And that's the timer. Awesome.